Hello, Sally. Good morning.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, how's everything going, Sally?
It's okay.
Well, that's great. Have you eaten breakfast yet?
Yes,
Nice. So, what did you have for breakfast?
I ate noodles with meat.
Well, that's great, Sally. So, anyway, for today, we are going to continue with the set of more words in here. This is still in Unit 5, I think. Yes, so the first word that we're going to discuss for today is infected.
Infected. Infected, an infected area of your body that has germs or bacteria on it.
Yes. Okay, so once something is infected, that means it is contaminated by germs or other things that are actually a foreign. That is actually considered a foreigner to our body. So whenever it's a foreigner, then that means those are germs or bacteria that our body cannot actually bear with it. So once there's an infection, then the doctor will actually prescribe you an antibiotic. Yes, and that kind of medicine is something that you cannot buy over the counter without prescription. Okay. So do you have any questions about the words in here, Sally?
No.
All right. So this time, let's go through with this dialogue. So I will let you listen to this dialogue. Give me a second. Then you will take note of your answers, send it in Zoom. Then we're going to check and practice later. So here it is, Sally.
At the doctor's. So, what seems to be the problem?
Well, I haven't been feeling very well. I was vomiting a lot over the weekend, and I've got this terrible pain in my stomach and a pretty bad headache. I think I've got some kind of tummy bug.
Does your body feel sore?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I just need to take your temperature. 38.5. You've got a bit of a temperature. You need to drink plenty of fluids and stay in bed for the next 48 hours. You also need to take this medicine. You can get it in the chemist's. Just take one pill every 6 hours.
Okay, thanks a lot. Is there a chemist near here?
Yes, there's one right next to the clinic.
Great. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Do you want to listen again, Sally?
No.
No. Okay. So I want you to send your answers here in Zoom and I'll check that one.
I'm finished. Oh, you
All right.
forgot? Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was talking and I forgot to unmute myself. So, yes, so thank you so much for your answers here, Sally. So, this is quite easy for you because you've got a perfect score in here and just listening to it once. Well, great job on that one, Sally. So, this time, I want you to be the doctor. Oh, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a doctor or the patient?
Okay, doctor.
All right, so you'll be the doctor and I'll be the patient.
So, what seems to be the problem?
Well, I haven't been feeling very well. I was vomiting a lot over the weekend, and I've got this terrible pain in my stomach and a pretty bad headache. I think I've got some kind of tummy bug.
Does your body feel sore?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I just need to take your temperature. Mm, 38.5. You've got a bit of temperature. You need to drink plenty of fluids and stay in bed for the next 48 hours. You also need to take this medicine. You can get it in the chemist. Just take one pill every 6 hours.
Okay, thanks a lot. Is there a chemist near here?
Yes, there's one right next to the clinic.
Great, thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Yes. So that's how um oh, one tip that I'm gonna give you when you're going to consult the doctor. You know what? It doesn't mean that when they're doctor, they would already know what you're feeling inside or what your sickness is all about, unless if you will tell them honestly. So when you consult a doctor, tell everything that you're feeling, because if you're just going to sugarcoat about what you're feeling, then they might give you a wrong medicine. Because if you say that actually happened to my dad, because when he had his checkup, like he said, like he was only having a stomach ache like that, and he was about to throw up. Yeah, that's it. So the doctor said that, oh, maybe you're just, I forgot the term for that sickness, but the doctor said, oh, you're just like this. So the doctor prescribed that medicine. So when my dad took that medicine, my dad is still not feeling better, and it's been like 3 days. Then on the fourth day, my dad was having a short breathing. So he's having a difficulty in breathing. And when we rushed him to the emergency, yeah, the doctor was asking him, "Oh, how are you feeling, sir?" And my dad keep on telling the same thing. So the doctor again said to my dad, "Oh, so yes, this is just how you're feeling." So the doctor prescribed the same medicine as the first doctor prescribed to my dad before. Not until my sister interrupted, like, Doc, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we actually rushed my dad to this emergency room because he was having difficulty in breathing, and he was sweating so much, even though the temperature in our room is so cold. And the doctor was like, oh, so it's not just like that. So that is probably about your kidney. You have to wait there. We're going to run some tests like that. So see, imagine the doctor is actually just depending to what you're telling them. So when you consult a doctor, you are there so that you'll feel better. So you really have to be honest with how you're feeling, like that. Yeah, because if you're gonna say, if only my dad said, "Oh, I'm having a short breathing, like I have difficulty in breathing, and sometimes my heart is aching," like that, then the doctor will already know, oh, that's because of your kidney, like that. Yeah. So we really have to be honest in what we're feeling. So that's the only tip that I'm gonna share to you, Sally. Okay, so do you have any question about Unit 5 in here, Sally?
No.
All right. Okay, so Sally, I'm gonna ask some questions about Unit 5. Yeah, so most of the question in here are just related to the words that we learned or even to our
Yes.
topic here.
Okay.
So, um, how because what's that? So to avoid being sick, we really have to be careful. But sometimes accidents happen, and that's one thing that we cannot actually avoid. Yeah, because it's
Yes.
called accident, because it's something that we don't expect to happen. So when we get wounds, sometimes it has infection. And that's something that we don't want to get, especially if we have an open wound. So how do you think can we avoid getting a wound infected, Sally?
Maybe just go to the doctor as soon as possible so that the doctor will prescribe the right medicine and we can um, like cure it as soon as possible too. And If it is not a simple wound, it's a very serious wound. Just like because when we have a wound or we hurt somewhere, we will need to
Mm.
clean it, like tidy the wound, maybe every 6 hours or every day. Yeah, and just carefully in that tidy, like do everything carefully and make sure that the wound will be cured soon.
That's right. Okay, we really have to go to the doctor immediately, or you can also do what's that? First aid. You can do some first aid to yourself by just washing the wound properly and use some antiseptic. Yeah, when we say antiseptic, these are kind of medicine that are formed into liquid where we can actually put to our open wound to avoid to kill the bacteria that's already there or to get the germs from that open wound. So here it is. Hold on. Antiseptic. Like this. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, we can also use this one. All right. And if the doctor already cleaned our wound, so we really have to make sure that that wound will be always clean. Okay, so yes, well, that's great because you know how to take care of yourself, Sally. And yesterday too, Sally, I remember that I asked you to locate your pulse. However, you couldn't locate it. So let's try to locate it now. Okay, I want you to show me your wrist like that. Yes, you try to hold. Do not speak. Like look for something that actually beats. Can you locate it? It's hard to
No,
locate on the wrist, right? Okay, try
not
here
yet.
instead. Like this one. Can you feel something that is beating?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna time 1 minute. And let's see, you count how many beats can you feel in 1 minute because that is actually your pulse. Hold on, let me set the time.
Oh, teacher, but the pulse here is, I think I can feel it, but just sometimes because it's like, it's, I don't know, but it's not very clear here.
Oh, really? Maybe you try to put here, like next to your throat. You probably touch the one that is a little bit away from it. Can you feel mine is very it's beating so fast. How about you? Like this one. Like this is your throat. Then you try here. Can you locate it?
No.
Oh, still no? Why is that? Oh, just your heartbeat instead. But it's hard. It's actually hard to feel the heartbeat. The easiest way to locate our pulse is here because it beats so hard. It beats so fast. Or this one. Yeah, there's also another one here. Like this one. I'm gonna show you.
Oh yes,
Here,
okay.
this one. It's faster, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I want you, if I say start, then you start counting the beating. Or like just like me. 1, 2, 3. But don't speak. You have to count with your mind only so that you can actually feel it. Here it is, Ellie. Start. 25 seconds left. Is this for what? 10 seconds left. 1-0. Time's up. So how many beats do you have in 1 minute, Sally?
I think it's more than 60.
More than 60. Let's see if that is normal. So for 12 to 16 years old, so it should be 60 to 100 per minute. So that is actually very normal. Yes. Okay, so 60 to 100. So that is what we call BPM. BPM. That's beats per minute. You know what? When someone collapses, the first thing that the rescue team will touch is their pulse to see if that person is still alive. If they still have if their pulse are still beating, then that means they're still alive. But if they don't have pulse anymore, then that's the time that they will do some CPR. Like they will actually kiss, not really kiss, but they have to put their lips or their mouth to that other person's mouth, and that's what we call CPR, to help them breathe or to help them recover their breath, like that. So yes, like I know that one because I was once part of the rescue team when I was in high school, but I only know basic things. So anyway, let's move on with unit 6. It is all about at the travel agency or at the travel agents. Okay, so who are the travel agents, Sally?
The travel agents, maybe the flight attendant, the
Y-
mm, the people that sit at the check-in desk. Yes.
Yes. All right. So, yes, you are kind of correct on that one. Yes, they are also called travel agents. Yeah. Or actually, they are what we call what's that? Airport officers. Yeah, the flight attendant is considered flight attendant, like that. Then the people that we can see at the airport that are responsible for your luggages or for check-in, like that. So they are just crew at the airport. And when we say travel agents, okay, they are actually the people who will prepare for your itinerary, book your flight in your behalf, and you just have to pay them so that you don't have to think about where to go, where to eat, how much to spend, like that. They will be the one to arrange it for you. Yes, let's say that you are traveling to, or you want to go to Philippines. Okay. So you're traveling alone and you don't know where to go to the Philippines because you are new as a tourist in the Philippines. So that it's going to be very convenient for your time and for you to really enjoy your visit in the Philippines. It's very convenient to just look for a travel agency. Yes, and they will actually tell you, oh, how many days do you want to stay in the Philippines? You can say, I want to stay there for 5 days and 4 nights. Okay, so when do you plan to travel on those dates? Then, yes, they can say, do you have a passport? Yes, I do. Then they can say, oh, so what are the things that you want to do? They can actually arrange your itinerary according to your interests. Oh, I am actually a beach person. Like, I want to spend time at the beach. Oh, perfect. Because on day one, that's going to be your arrival. So you fly from this to that one, then they will actually give you the details of your flight, the details of your itinerary, where to eat, like that, and you even have a tour guide with you. That is the convenience convenience that you get when you actually book a travel agency. However, it is quite pricey compared to doing a DIY tour. When we say DIY tour, that means do it yourself
Yes.
tour. Yeah, so when you do it yourself, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of planning, it's a lot of time to consider on in planning. So yeah, if you don't want to deal with more hassle or stress, better to book or to look for a travel agency. So that is their job, Sally. Yeah. So here we have, oh, this is travel agency is very common if you would go to countries in Asia, just like Korea, Japan. If you still don't have the visa to go to Korea or Japan, then they will be the one to get your visa in your behalf. You just have to fill up the details, you have to pay like that, and they will be the one to book your flight too with your details. But be careful, especially if you're going to do it online, because there are so many people online that also pretend to be a travel agents, but they're not. So their purpose is just to scam you. Yes. And but like most of the travel agents can be found online, but in traditional way, you have to go to their office. Yeah. So anyway, since you already know what travel agents are, now let's take a look at the words from our vocabulary here. So the first word that we have here is cruise ship.
Cruise ship.
Yes. What is cruise ship, Sally?
Cruise ship is a very big boat, like a very big ship, and it takes passengers to their destination for someone who want to travel by boat.
That is right. And you know what? It's not gonna be boring when you try cruise ship, because let's say that you want to go to Mexico, or you just want to experience cruise ship like that. Okay, that during your trip, we know that boat is a trans mode of transportation where the speed in traveling is really slow because it's traveling in the water compared to the plane. But there are so many entertainments inside the cruise ship. There are games, there are casino, there are restaurants like that. And you'll be staying in a room. It's not a hotel, it's just a room where it has everything that you need. And they also have separate rooms. Like if you want a room that is, let's say, a luxurious one, they can also give you. But if you want to stay on your budget, they also have a room for travelers who are on a budget like that. And you wouldn't know that, oh my God, I'm already in Mexico, because you enjoyed your time in the cruise ship. They even have a pool inside this very big ship. Yeah. Do you know what's that? Do you know the famous movie Titanic?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you can actually rewatch the movie, that's a perfect example of cruise ship. However, not the ending, just the first part of the
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
Yeah, there people are dancing, people are singing like that. It's a very large ship where it can actually accommodate thousands of people. Yes. And sometimes during when cruise ship also has destination, they will pick you at your seaport in Vietnam. Then I've heard that in Vietnam there is a lake that actually connects to three countries: Thailand, Vietnam, Thailand, and China,
Yes.
like that. So if you try cruise ship, you can actually visit three countries. So first stop is Vietnam to get all the passengers. Second stop is Thailand, like that. You can also go out from that cruise ship to explore Thailand. But they set dates or schedules on when to go back to the boat or to the ship. The next they will go to China, like that. But while waiting for your destination, you can actually be entertained inside the crew or inside the ship. Yeah, so that is cruise ship. Have you ever been in a very big ship, Sally?
No, never.
All right. Yes, you should try this one. Oh, do you have like motion sickness with the sea?
No. I can travel
No.
by any kind of transportation without any sickness.
Wow, that's perfect. You should try this one, Sally. Okay, then next we have here train.
Then
Yeah, so Sally, we have train and subway. What do you think is the difference between a train and a subway?
I think the train maybe it will go. It's like the subway we can't see it's driving because it's like under the ground, but the train it's on the ground and we can see it.
That is right. Okay, so when we say subway, we also call this one as metro. Oh, how do you want to go to school? I use metro to go to school like that. That's subway. But when we say train, it just go on its connecting rails. Yeah, which is not underground. Okay, then next we have aeroplane or airplane.
Aeroplane or airplane.
Yes, so this is basic. Now next we have I'm not sure with the pronunciation this one whether it's coach or couch. Let me check.
Coach.
Oh, hold on this one. Coach here coach meaning. Because there are so many meaning of the word coach. Sometimes it can be a person who will train you to be sporty. We also have this one, a railroad car. So we pronounce this one as
Coach.
coach. Yeah, the first
Coach.
coach. Okay, same
Co-
thing with the brand of the bag, which is expensive. Coach. I know there are so many coach in Vietnam. Okay, then here we have the
Passport.
passport. Next.
Backpack.
All right, then.
Map.
All right.
Insect. Mosquito repellent. Sun hat. Camera. Wash bag. Sun cream. Sunglasses. Sandals. Bum bag or fanny pack. US English.
Yes. So they at this generation we call this one as belt bag. Yeah, because it's like a belt where you put around your waist and you can put many things in here. And this is very common if you are a runner. If you like to go for a run, then you can actually have this belt bag with you. Okay, so any question about the words in here, Sally?
No.
Okay. So here, Sally, you know what? The map is a basic tool when we travel. However, we don't have to bring this kind of map anymore because we have Google Maps. As long as you know the four directions. Do
Yes.
you still remember the four directions?
No.
Okay, we have here north, south, east. I think this is east and west. Yeah, if you know this
Oh,
four direction, then you won't be lost when you travel like that. North is always north, south is always south. When you go forward, that's north. When you go backward, that's south. Then left, right, that's east and west. Okay, so anyway, it's already time, Sally. So we will just end in here and we'll continue next time with the rest of the vocabularies in here. So far, most of the vocabularies in this unit are basic, right?
yes.
Yes, basic but very useful in real life, especially if you're a traveler. Anyway, Sally, thank you so much for today. Have a great rest of your Sunday and enjoy the very last day that you can actually
Yes.
everything that you want to do because tomorrow I've heard that you have to go to school, right?
No.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
after the holiday, I will go to school, but on Friday, I have to go to class to meet my friends, and maybe the school have something to inform us.
So when is the last day for your holiday?
I think after the holiday, so maybe it's on the 5th of September is the last holiday.
Yeah. So you still have plenty of days to enjoy before school starts again. Yeah, because you know what? Some of my Vietnamese students would actually tell, oh, I'm not actually excited for next week, especially Sunny. Do you remember the girl where you joined yesterday and we had class before you? Yeah, that's her.
Yes.
She told me that, don't want to go to school because I have to go to school on Monday again. And that doesn't make her excited like that. So yeah, aside from her, I also have four or three students who said that they have to go back to school starting tomorrow. Anyway, I'm not gonna hold you for so long, Sally. So thank you so much and keep safe. Bye.
Bye.